what's up, everyone? My name's AJ Wrights Crypto, and I am here with a good friend of mine, George from Cryptos R Us. I have a lot of questions to ask you. I'm just going to say that right off the top.
Okay.
But first, IFC. You know, we're
Yes.
about to have the 5th IFC fight tomorrow.
Yes.
It's been a long way since Ben and Morelight's fight in Mexico. You know, what are your thoughts on this card we're about to see tomorrow?
I think it's going to be amazing. All of them so far has been amazing, but we're here at permissionless, right? So this is known as Hoffman's kind of thing,
Yeah.
and he is going to be fighting.
Yeah.
He was supposed to fight Nick Carter. He got injured, but now he's back, and he's fighting a bigger opponent, Kane Warick. Very well known in the space. Some people may not recognize him, but he was a founder of Synthetic, which is a very large project.
Wow.
Now he has founded
Like
Infinite.
SNX?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a huge project.
Wow.
Yeah. He was a founder of that, and he founded a new DeFi project called PHEMEX. But basically, you know, these guys don't need to fight, but they are fighting,
Right.
representing their project and this conference, and that's amazing. And that's the whole point of the IFC. It's like, it's changing people's lives. We have had fighters drop a tremendous amount of weight.
Yep.
So from a health perspective, we had fighters that actually went through some terrible times. So from a mental health perspective,
Yep.
has helped them too. But also from a project perspective, we've seen they have represented their communities and projects very well.
Yeah.
So the IFC is just doing a whole lot of good, and it's just so exciting. Like,
It is.
right?
It
Like,
really is.
how many have you been to so far?
I think 3 or 4. 3 or 4.
3 or 4?
Yeah, and every time it's always like, okay, here we go.
Right.
And I missed the blonde broker Ashley one, but I did watch it. Jay Chains and I did a live stream as it happened, and that
Yeah.
was one of the best fights I ever.
Yeah.
It was a brawl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here's the thing, it's like, even the pros are now starting to come around. Like KC guys, like at the beginning, even IFC 1, a lot of people, a lot of the pros are like, what the hell are these guys doing?
Right.
But now they're seeing the passion, the heart. A lot of them are coming around, and vice versa too, because a lot of the crypto guys that come to the conferences, they're tuning in and they're actually enjoying not only the IFC fights, but they're enjoying the KC fights too.
Exactly.
So it's there's a synergy, and it's just great, and you know, we're just pushing forward and going bigger every single time.
I love it. And obviously, everybody, if you don't follow IFC, make sure you click the link down below to follow their Twitter page. And if you want to watch the fight tomorrow, I think starts at 5 p.m. time here, so 7 p.m. EST.
Yes.
Definitely make sure you check that out as well. So, George, I mean, we could talk about the IFC for hours, but I do respect you as a crypto YouTuber. I started listening to you, I probably 18, 19-ish. I've been around for a while, and you know, I've always looked up to you as a crypto YouTuber. So of course I want to pick your brain about like your crypto strategy and like
Sure.
what you're looking at. And I think a question a lot of people are looking at right now is, should I front run the election? Should I hold my coins and wait for the results to happen, or should I front run anticipating a Trump victory? And I really think a lot of people are being kind of forced to make a decision right now, and I know I've had a lot of my audience, I don't know about you, personally ask me that question. So I do want to have your take on that question.
That's an interesting question. Here's how I would answer it. History doesn't always repeat, but it tends to rhyme.
Yep.
Right? And if you look at all previous cycles, having events happen to occur every 4 years, happens to occur on the election year every single time. Yeah. And if you go back, when does the bull run start? When does the parabolic phase start of every run? It starts after elections time.
Exactly.
Right? Every single time. Now, that doesn't mean that it has to happen this time, but hey, if you are a betting man, right, you go with the odds. The odds say that this is the time to be either buying or holding what you have, right?
Sure.
So I don't think it's going to be different. But even if you discount that, even if you discount the elections, but I know a lot of people do think that one side is probably going to be more beneficial than the other side, and I'm not going to get into that.
Sure.
But even if you discount the elections, you just look at the macro conditions. Obviously, we finally moved past, all the damage from COVID, right? That self-inflicted damage from all the governments, all from everything they've done by injecting all the cash and everything, causing horrible inflation. I think we finally got past that. So now we're finally getting to a point where, okay, governments are finally starting to cut rates, right?
Finally.
Yes.
And not just in America, China, Japan, countries in Europe. It kind of feels like the world is entering a phase of quantitative easing.
Right. So if you're looking at macro conditions, it's starting to ease, which should be good also for crypto.
Yeah.
If you look at some of the prior times when crypto have gone up, it's during easy times, and it's also during like liquidity injection times.
Yes.
When you see like the M2 money supply or global liquidity, if you look at those charts and you correlate with Bitcoin's rise, it's the same. Like when you see liquidity go up, Bitcoin's price goes up, right? So, so when you factor all these things in, I think we're primed to go up. Yeah. So that's how I see it.
I'm with you, and I really like a lot of what you've been putting on Twitter X lately. Basically, like historical charts on like here's where we were, and then this chart on this is what's about to happen. And I'm right with you on that sentiment for sure. Like, do I personally think a Trump White House is more bullish than a Harris White House? Yes, I do think that. But ultimately, given I think we're still going to be doing interest slashes regardless of who wins.
Right.
So the global liquidity will still continue to rise regardless of who wins. I mean, regulation is its own conversation for sure, and favorable regulation is better in the long run, in my opinion. But I still think either or. Why would you not be front running an event like that? Now, that's just my take, but
yes.
Yeah, but so another question I have is, I know you're big into altcoins and everything. I'm not gonna like make you list your top 5 or anything like that, but like what's on your radar? Like, what are you not going to miss out on this run? Because you can't hold everything, right? You have to be choosy and picky,
This might be controversial, but I'm not going to miss out on meme coins. That's for sure.
Okay.
Last cycle, completely missed it. I completely discounted, when people were talking about Shiba, when it was rising, I completely shaded that, and I told everyone, get away, don't get into it. I stayed away. Like the last cycle, we had a few. Obviously, Doge has been around forever, but Shiba was getting popular, and then we had a few like Floki and so forth, right? Yeah. But they all blew up. We had very little, but now it's like we have so many, right?
Sure.
And unfortunately, a lot of them are rugs. A lot of them do not sustain. We got celebrities coming in. We got a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm not going to miss it. Like, I think the timing has to be right. Obviously, when the market's not doing well, memes are not going to do well.
Sure.
But we have seen some like new blue chip kind of memes.
Like Popcat.
Yeah, Whip, Popcat, like you could put Bonk in there, Pepe now, right? Yep. I think a lot of people discount these, but these are going to do phenomenally well, I think. And then the newer generation ones, I think they're going to do well too. So I'm definitely going to like put more money into them as the market gets better, because I think memes are going to play a big role this cycle.
I really love to hear that, especially coming from you. And to be fair, my meme strategy is pretty, like, I do not throw darts at whatever just gets listed. I'm looking for the coins that have already established liquidity on exchanges, like Popcat, for instance. Out of all the coins by crypto market cap, Popcat just broke into the top 100, and it's like number 5 by leverage volume on PHEMEX. That means something. So I definitely don't want to be caught sleeping.
I would not be surprised, but by the end of the bull run, in the top 100, I would not be surprised if a quarter of them are meme coins.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So before I let you go, I do want to ask, so we covered the meme base.
Yeah.
We covered our election strategy here.
Okay.
What are, like if you had to, say, a lot of people, I think, over diversify their portfolios.
Yes.
It's a big problem that I see. And I think, I do a segment on my show called Rate My Portfolio, right? And basically these people send me like, bags with like 15, 20 coins in it. And I just kind of want to know, like, what is your sweet spot for like an optimal portfolio? 8 picks, 12 picks? Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. Like, that's hard to answer. Some people stick with I mean, obviously there's Bitcoiners, right? And sometimes they're right.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes when you see your portfolio go down, you know, every alt goes down except Bitcoin. You're like, man, I wish I just had Bitcoin.
That's
right?
fair.
But when it comes to alts, there are stories where, like, some people have just held on to just that one, and they stayed with it, even though it seemed really stupid. But they just kept with it, and it finally came up, and it did well for them.
Yeah.
But you know, for me, I think some diversification kind of increases the odds, right?
Yeah.
Because now this cycle, we have more coins than ever. You have more memes and more layer twos, more deep end AI and stuff.
Yep.
It's not guaranteed that some of the previous, you know, the previous, say, top 100 coins will stay top 100 coins.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee they'll come back to previous highs. So
Sure.
to answer your question, you know, I think it's good to be diversified. I don't think there's an optimal number. I think for the most part, you just have to keep up with them.
Sure.
You have to make sure that they are still performing well. They're on top of things, meaning that they're still developing, they're still active with their community, they're still trying to engage, meaning that, hey, a lot of these projects are, like, for example, doing RWA now,
Yeah.
right? Or giving out grants for their ecosystem.
Sure.
So these are things that, you know, these chains or projects can be doing to drive up activity or new users and stuff, right?
Gotcha.
So as long as you see these kind of things happening, at least they're doing something. But there are a lot of projects out there, you just hear nothing.
They just
Zero.
go dark. I
Yeah.
know. So basically, long story short, like, you're not sure about an optimal number, but for the coins you hold, make sure you're doing your homework, because each coin you hold, it's like adopting a baby. Like, you want to make sure you give it attention that it needs, like, so you know what you're holding. I feel a
Yes.
lot of people just kind of throw money at letters, and they don't know what they have. I think that's a really good point.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Just keep up with it, and if you can't, then maybe it's too much.
Yeah.
But don't get too attached to something. Just make sure that you keep up with them.
Sure. Awesome. Well, dude, I really appreciate your time. Before I let you go, one quick question. There's a lot of, you know, verticals, narratives, strategic narratives right now being pushed. You know, depins, RWAs, AI. Ignoring meme coins, what is your favorite strategic narrative right now?
There are a lot of narratives.
Yes.
I think AI is still going to be big
Sure.
because outside of crypto, AI is going to be the biggest narrative by far, right? So I think AI is going to be huge in crypto, but outside of AI, I'm still hoping that games can pick up.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
Games have the potential to drive in millions of users into crypto. It hasn't happened yet, but I've seen some amazing games in development. It still has the potential. It hasn't happened yet, but I'm still rooting for games to make a big comeback.
Amazing. Well, dude, thank you so much for doing this interview. Everybody,
problem.
make sure you give my guy George a follow on YouTube and Twitter and IFC. All links down below in the description. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Have a safe rest of your day. Get rich or get wrecked. Later.